False prophecy. In Scripture, claiming to speak for God was never treated as a personal platform or a spiritual experiment. It was treated as a responsibility so serious that getting it wrong could cost you your life. Deuteronomy 13, 1-5 addresses a situation that feels surprisingly modern. Moses warns that if a prophet or dreamer appears and even performs a sign or wonder, but then says, "Let us go after other gods," that person is not to be admired or followed. The text says plainly, that prophet or dreamer shall be put to death because he has taught rebellion against the Lord your God. The accuracy of the sign was not the test. Loyalty to God was. That distinction matters. Scripture acknowledges that persuasive, impressive, even supernatural experiences can occur. But Israel was taught that power alone does not validate a message. A voice that draws people away from God, no matter how compelling, is treated as dangerous. Deuteronomy 18:20 reinforces this boundary even more sharply. The prophet who presumes to speak a word in my name that I have not commanded him to speak, that same prophet shall die. Speaking falsely in God's name was not considered a mistake. It was considered presumption, taking authority God had not given. The law goes further in Deuteronomy 13, 6-10, where even a close friend or family member who quietly entices someone to serve other gods is placed in the same category. The text says, "You shall not yield to him or listen to him. You shall stone him to death." Once again, the issue is not intent or charisma, but direction. Who is being followed? What Scripture makes clear is that spiritual leadership carries weight because it shapes allegiance. False prophecy wasn't simply bad teaching, it redirected hearts away from the covenant. That is why it was treated as a capital offense. The danger wasn't misinformation, it was misdirection. When we look at modern religious culture, this raises uncomfortable questions. Today, spiritual voices are often evaluated by popularity, confidence, or results. Claims of divine insight are shared freely, sometimes without accountability. Scripture presses us to ask a deeper question than, does it sound convincing? It asks, does this lead people toward faithfulness to God or away from Him? The New Testament carries the same concern. Jesus warns in Matthew 7:15, "Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves." And 1 John 4:1 urges believers to test the spirits to see whether they are from God. Scripture does not discourage discernment, it demands it. Because when someone claims to speak for God, what's at stake is not influence, but allegiance.